Hey y'all, it's Debra Parmley with another March of the Writers video for 2025. This one is the prompt for day 27, Secret Identity. That's why I opened the way I did. Secret Identity. Are you yourself all the time, everywhere, online, offline? Do you write under a different name, etc.? Do you have a persona? Some authors have a persona. Now I could come out with a hey y'all, but the simple fact is sometimes I say it and sometimes I don't. Why? Because I've lived in a lot of states. Um, so I was born and raised in Ohio, and then my husband and I got married, and I was eight, yeah, 18 when we got married, and 19 when we had our first son, and then I had a second at 21, and then we moved all around. He was in the Air Force, and he worked as a civilian for the contractor for the government when he was out of the Air Force, and so we had lived in 6 states, I think. Our oldest son, when he was in high school, he'd lived in at 13 different addresses for whatever reason. So, yeah, we moved around a bit. So it's not a big switch up, really, to be in a motorhome living and moving around a bit, because I kind of was used to that. I loved it. I love to travel. It was never a goal for me to have a little house with a picket fence. That was not a goal for me. I wanted to see the world before I got married, but since I got married first, we did the see the world part second. And now we still are seeing things. Fortunately, I married a man who is just as adventurous as I am when it comes to wanting to go and see and do. Otherwise, it definitely would not have worked because I'm the one who really, really wants to go and see and do. He loves it though too. We both love it. He might have done it on his own. I don't know. Anyway, being yourself and acting like it, to me, that's author branding. This is why my new branding on my website says a multi-genre author. I'm a Gemini. A Gemini will never do just one thing. I'm not going to write in just one genre. No, I'm not going to have a different name for everything I write. If I did that, do you have any idea how many names I would have to have? No. If I did that, I'd also be presenting just a sliver of myself to the public because that would not be the be-all of who I am. So to be myself is to share the multifaceted parts of myself that make me who I am with the world. I write under my real name, Debra Parmley. I write all of my adult fiction under that name. Now, adult doesn't necessarily mean sex. Some of my books have it, some don't. Some close the door, some don't. Depends what I'm writing, what's out there. Just depends. I do write under my maiden name, Debra Bishop, and those are for my children's books. And that's just so no one gets confused on that. And, that's so, a 12-year-old girl's not going to pick up one of my books that has a kissing scene in it that makes her go, ew, I didn't want to read that. It's okay. Everything doesn't have to have the kissy parts. Though if I'm writing Debra Parmley, it might, because the kissing is like one of the best things in the world you can do. Anyway, let's see. I write danger, action, and adventure in my Debra Parmley books. So although these things get lumped under romance, I write romantic suspense. I need something exciting to happen in the book. It can't just be the love story and the kissy part. I would be bored out of my mind if that's all it was. People will ask, well, what about, are your books are they erotic? No, they're not. It's not that I can't write it, because I have tried writing it. And in fact, still have a letter here from my very dear editor and friend who passed, Tamara Hoffa, who said, when I sent a book to Secret Cravings, I was trying to write erotic romance. She said, this is too erotic to be romance. It needs more story in it to be romance. It's very erotic. You are writing erotica here. So The misconception that just because Deborah hasn't put erotic romance out into the world, that doesn't mean I can't write erotic. I can write very erotic when I want to. But I was like one book, that was one book that I wrote. Would I wanted to write a bunch more? Well, no, once I'd done it, I felt like, oh, I did that. Okay. Do I want to put 10 more out there? No, not really. It's fine. It's sitting in the drawer. It's not hurting anything sitting in there. Will I ever publish it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. There's nothing wrong with sex any more than there's anything wrong with eating. Eat your food, drink your water. Like, why are people so hung up on sex? I have people come up to me at signings and they'll say, how much sex is in your book? I had one that asked me this. It's a normal question. If you're looking for it or you don't want it at all, that's a normal question. But she'd read the back of my book and she said, how much sex is in this? And I go, well, I was thinking, first of all, there's a serial killer and she's taken and the hero must get her back. So not much. But if you're looking for a book with a serial killer and some action, danger, suspense, then this might be the book for you. So it's so funny though, because people if it's romance, people get so hung up on the whole sex thing. I'm like, well, if you didn't write the rest of it right, it's not going to matter how many sex scenes you throw in there. I won't care about the story. You won't shock me, surprise me, or whatever. I mean, I'll just flip right through it if there's not any story to it. So I need story. Y'all, this is why I write stories, because I love stories of all kinds. So, am I a Southerner? No, but y'all might pop out because I have lived in the South. I lived in Memphis, Tennessee for 23 years. I lived in Biloxi, Mississippi for a year and a half. I now live in North Carolina. I mean, I've lived around. I've been surrounded by Southerners, and I understand Southern speak, and I understand bless your heart and all y'alls and all that stuff. Anyway, no, I don't really have a persona. I pretty much, what you see is what you get. So if you hear me say y'all, I just happen to drop one in there. It doesn't mean I'm trying to be something or not be something or whatever. I'm just me. Wherever I'm at, you've got me. Hey, thanks for watching my videos, and I'm wishing y'all a beautiful day.